5750. Wingtip, solid hardwood blades, antique brass, non-hunter light kit. I was telling Andy that I'm fairly certain this came from Menards, because Menards briefly sold antique brass 4-blade wingtip originals in the late 80s. I think they must have bought like a closeout of them or something. And that was the only finish they had. They only had antique brass. I think at one time they had white and antique brass, but they didn't have polished brass or brown or anything like that. And this was a light kit that was very commonly... Oh, great. Oh. I'm going to keep this because, yeah. I turned my ringer off, but I'm having text still coming through from the last time it was on airplane mode, so it's a pain. But oh well. Unless it keeps doing it, we'll just keep filming. So we got it with the light on. It's drawing 1.7 amps. So that works out to being, that's what, 40 watt bulbs? That would be 5 40 watt bulbs? 5 40 watt bulbs would be 200, yeah. So, let's cycle through the original speeds. High, medium, low. It's a 1.1 amp motor. 0.31 on low. See, that's not much of a higher current draw than a stack motor fan. So this is from the era of permanent split capacitor originals that are quite efficient. One of these glass shades is buzzing a little bit. Medium. 0.68. I was commenting to Andy that even though I don't particularly, this is my least favorite type of original blade bracket, I think this combination is just a really, really cool fan. I would happily have these installed. He was pointing out that one of the blades looks lighter than the others, and it definitely, apparently seems so when it's spinning. You see like a flash of lighter wood going around. High. 1.03. We're very close to the 1 amp rating. And that is a lot of air being moved. Yeah, nice gentle breeze back here. This arm, and there's the glass, and the glass is in there crooked, I think. I was going to say I thought the arm was crooked. Okay, medium low off. So you were saying you don't remember seeing these in Menards at all?
I do not. I don't believe I've ever seen an original in a store for sale.
Only Home Depot had them. The Home Depot on Verona Road had them. Maybe 5, 10 years ago. I think they only had white. I could be remembering that wrong. Dorn had them.
Really?
Yeah, the Dorn on by my parents' house had them. They had 2 of them. 42-inch brown originals. They were marked at like $200 a piece, and they'd sat in there the entire time. And that was back when I was doing business with a guy down in Tampa who's not highly regarded, but at the time he hadn't burned his bridge with me. And when I told him about them, he asked me to offer the owner of the store $75 a piece for him, and I did. And they accepted, and I sent them down to the guy in Tampa, who then I'm sure resold them for a tidy profit. Of course, now I'm kicking myself, and I wished I would have kept them. Reverse switches on top of the fan. At the time, I wasn't paying anywhere near $75 a piece for fans for myself, so I wouldn't have gotten them even at that price for myself then, but of course I should have. They don't have any brown 42-inch originals. And they had horseshoe brackets and isolation rings. Oh, come on. notifications are still coming through. I think I'm just going to turn my phone to silent next video. Yeah, that thing's silent. Not all originals are silent, but this one is. This would be... Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Nothing.
I would say this is another good potential fan for your parents' living room.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I wish it was just a hair fancier, but... I wonder what made them reintroduce the solid wingtip blades so briefly. If you ask me, they're so much classier than just the flat end blades. Although I don't know if you ever saw in one of those 90s Hunters catalogs, they had a whole spiel in the front or second page about how their fans were better quality than competitors because the blade tips were flat and that moved more air than competitors that had rounded blade tips. You remember that?
I remember seeing a diagram where they showed their flat end blade and a competitor with the rounded tip blade, but I think the context had to do with the blade pitch. I don't recall there actually being text arguing that the flat-ended blade moved more air.
Well, I could be imagining that, or could be remembering it wrong, or something to that degree. But I swear there were two different diagrams, and one diagram showed the various pitches, and the blade tips were not shown because it was shown from like a straight head-on shot. And then the other one showed the round end versus the flat end.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. This is a first. The 2 microfarads gets it going.
Amazing.
Never seen that with an original before. Three, 2 is 0.09, 3 is 0.14, 4, 0.19, 5, 0.24. So you can still get a decently slow low speed with a 5, 10, 15 control, but the fact that it'll go with a 2.
Surprising.
Yeah. I guess the 1.1 amp motor is different than the various different amperages that came with the various 3-speed. I wonder why they changed that so many times. 6, 0.29, 7.33, 8.38, 9.42, 10.47, 21.77. Big jump from 20, 22.78, 23.8, 24.81, 25.83, 29.87, 30.88, oops, 31.88, 36.92, 37.92, let's jump to 40.95, and then high. So there's still a big jump between 40 and high. Just for curiosity's sake, let's try it with the light on. Even though the fan's still spinning down, I'm inching it up to see when we can see light. All the way up to 10, and I'm not seeing any light. There we go. 18. I guess when I bag 17, maybe you can start to see the filaments glow. Fan starts spinning at 13, but you still don't see any light. There's 20. 25. 30. 35. 40. And then compare to high, it's a big difference.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm just getting the solid state control ready. I forgot at the end of the last video to turn it to the lowest setting rather than off, which is a big difference.
0.1.
Yep.
There she goes.
Pretty nice. Okay, eighth of a turn, 0.28. It's a little bit of a hum from it. Another eighth of a turn, 0.49. 0.74.
No, this one's a Hummer.
Yeah, does not pass the fluorescent light test. Actually, just because I did it with the caps, do it with the lights, all the way at the lowest setting. I think it's because there's one halogen bulb in here. I think that makes a big difference because halogen bulbs have different resistive properties. Stop it by hand. I'm just inching it up. We're at about an amp now. About an amp and a half. 2 amps. High. And off. This is another fan we could also put in Andy's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, the space over your bed is the depository for all the cool fans that I don't want to pack into a box but don't have a place for.
Yes, of course.
So, I mean, we could probably do 2 rows there with 3 in each row, like a total of 6 fans.
So therefore, my residence would look like that of the crazy fan person.
Yes. My residence looks like that of the crazy stuff my wife collects person. So, there's only you left. Okay, end of this video. Thanks for watching.
Alright.
Any other shot? It's interesting how the spin down time has notably increased since we first started operating it.
Might have been
The oil working its way in.
loosen up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, plenty of oil spilled out of it when I picked it up, but
It's been an oil,
but that oil in it was pretty old, so
probably, yeah.
it looked brown rather than.
So this light is just all or nothing?
Yeah.
You don't get 4 or
Nope.
in the middle and
Most of the Menards brand lights, that's another reason that makes me think it was Menards brand, were like that. They didn't spring for the three-way pull